up, thumbs up. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, please give a warm welcome to the Nerd HQ stage, Yvonne Strahovski, Felicia Day, Krysta Rodriguez, Bree Turner, and Mercedes Masöhn. We're going to Australia! I just felt like being Oprah for a second. I do that occasionally. Hi, ladies.
Did we get a car? Did we get a car?
Hello.
And you get a car, and you get a car. So you guys know the drill. You guys know the drill. There are so many questions that I'm sure
You're
are
looking
burning.
very sexy, kind of just slouching.
I do. I kind of sit
like
back.
comfortable.
I sit back and creep back here sometimes.
Little
I put my head around and just be like, look at that panel. Pretty great, right? And just chime in occasionally.
You need a martini. Next.
Yeah, see? Yeah, see?
You're pretty, but I don't know about the dancing.
I don't know about that. So who has questions? Let's open it up. And you guys get to pick them, by the way. I'm just kind of sitting back and making sure things roll. So you guys
Fight to
get
the death. Go.
Go ahead.
Yes.
You get a car.
Hello, everyone. I love this is like my favorite panel of the year, so thank you guys all so much for doing this. It's really lovely to see all of you up here. My question is, if you guys had a story or like a kind of vein of story that you wanted to see told or you wanted to tell, what would it be?
I have a story. A story for like film or television or just anything in particular. I have always wanted to tell a story of my parents migrating to Australia because I feel like that's a story that a lot of people could relate to. And, you know, Australia is obviously very multicultural, as is America, and I feel like that would be something that a lot of people could relate to. So, yeah, that's a story that I would like to tell.
Well told. Well told.
It's been told.
Felicia?
I've always been really obsessed with the labor movement and the suffragettes and the Triangle Shirtwaist Factory. I know this is very much up my alley, which is comedy. But that's always, I have a book on my shelf about the Triangle Shirtwaist Factory where all these young women got burned to death and then they changed all the labor laws, and it was kind of tied into upper class women advocating for women's rights and voting and all these things. And it kind of, I'm sure there's been a movie about that, but it never was, I don't know. My burger, I had a burger today. That's a good story. I was crouching on the street eating a burger, and people are coming to take pictures next to me. I was like,
I want to tell the story of that burger. How did it come to be in your belly?
it was Burger Lounge, and the guy recognized me, and he rushed my order and gave me a T-shirt. So thank you, Burger Lounge guy. That was probably can get you fired, but I'm sorry. That was really nice of you.
Krysta?
I'm stumped on this, but I will tell the story of what happened to Yvonne and I on the way here.
Yes.
Which is that we had a little golf cart to come pick us up, and we got pulled over for not wearing our seatbelts, and we got tickets. We all got tickets. And the guy was just gleeful. He was so excited that he was like, you're all getting tickets. It was like a you got a car, you got a car, you got a car situation. And we all got them. And I was like, well, they want badass women. We just broke the law, mother. Like broke it hard on the way here. So I want to tell that story of how we were victimized by a Comic-Con police officer. But here we are, stronger, better than ever.
Do they even have seatbelts on a golf cart?
They do, and they're so weird. And then, like, I can't wear one across my chest, long story. And I was like, can I have it? And he was like, no, it must be across your chest. I was like, this is ridiculous.
Did you show him that you can get out of the golf cart and run faster than the golf cart?
And all the people dressed as, like, the Silver Surfer are like, oh, man, sorry about your luck, suckers. And we were like, it was really embarrassing and cool. And, yeah, it took us 45 minutes to get here because of it. So that's my story.
Bree?
Oh, well, I guess we're going to go with personal stories for me, but I'd like to tell this story because I was a young girl, a young dancer, and I used to do competitions. And I like to tell the story that I learned how to do full face makeup at like age 6, and I was wearing a G-string by age 11. And it's a little toddlers and tiaras
Earmuffs.
meets the dance competition scene. I think that would make a good reality show too. You know, it could be either one. I wish it was a suffragette or immigrants from Australia, but I'm going to go with
pretentious. I'm so embarrassed.
I
I want
know.
to be in your story. That sounds great.
That's my story. Wow.
Oh no, now I'm gonna make it all political. Okay, 2 stories. One, I want to tell the story of how Yvonne came to America because I love her, and I just want to hear that story all over again. And 2, I was lucky enough, all seriousness, to travel to Morocco, and there's a group of women who you don't traditionally get divorced, and these women have banded together. They've created their own sort of community, and they make their money in Essaouira by creating argan oil by hand. So I think it's really beautiful that these women are so strong. They're able to sort of fight against society and what they're told. Like I said, they're not supposed to divorce. They're sort of outcast because of it. And they're still able to live in this beautiful community of women supporting women. And I just, somebody has to tell the story. Yvonne, tell it. You would be so good at it. You and I need to go to Morocco.
To Morocco? Isn't
Morocco.
argan oil made out of goat poop? For real?
No, but the goats eat it and then they poop it out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's,
they
the
like
oil is
climb the
derived from
argan
goat
tree,
poop.
they eat it, and then you collect it because it ferments
Yeah.
in the goat's tummy. Goats, there's goats.
Goats!
I'm telling
Mercedes and I have a sick obsession with goats, actually.
Obsession.
You guys seen goats screaming like humans
It's
on YouTube? Oh, it's my
amazing.
favorite. And the little baby goat that goes,
We send each other videos fortnightly. It's like
I
my daily
saw-
affirmation.
I have a video from Thailand for you that I say, this is for Mercedes, and the goat goes, bah.
yes,
It's
yes,
great.
yes, yes.
Great.
Did you say you send each other videos fortnightly? Did
Yes,
you say that?
yes,
noticed
yes,
that
certainly
too.
did.
Fortnite.
I think that's the first time
Were you
Fortnite
impressed?
has ever been used on a panel of Nerd HQ. Well done with that. Also, what the hell do you use that oil for? Please tell me it's
You
not
put
for
it in
your
your
face.
hair.
Yeah.
Hair,
So
oil.
who
It's
here is wearing
incredible.
goat poop?
I'm concerned
It's very
now.
healing.
Raise your hand.
Who in
Yeah.
God's name figured out I'm going to take oil from goat shit and put it in my hair?
Yeah.
You're not my real dad. Don't judge.
Who's got another question? You pick them.
That one with the red sunglasses. Yes.
Run it down, Brian. Run it down. He's coming. Right on you. There you go.
Hi. So I'm a lead editor of a production studio up in the Bay Area. So as a fellow woman in entertainment, I wanted to ask you guys about women that you know of, if you wanted to talk about any women that you know that are behind the scenes, like cinematography or editing or anything like that, because like my experience so far has been half good and half like awful. So I just want to know like your guys' stories about women in the entertainment industry, and not just like actresses, but also people like behind the camera, like directors and things like that.
Great question.
I'm going to I gotta make up for my last answer, which was a little bit of but kind of fell flat. So I'm going to make up stuff. And I'm also from the Bay Area. Yeah. You. 5'10", 415, y'all. I worked with, there's obviously a lot of men in the industry, and sets are, it's a bit of a locker room environment sometimes, and I have 3 brothers, so you get used to it. But I can't tell you the opportunities I've had to work with female directors, particularly I'm going to say Leslie Linka Glatter, who does a lot of the Homeland. She's one of the producers now, one of the main directors on Homeland. She does a lot of action-oriented, kind of like Catherine Bigelow, like just a lot of like big, high-concept action projects. And when I did a pilot for her, and it actually was the antithesis of that. It was a very female, very kind of more of a conversation piece. And what was so great working with her was that she didn't squelch her femininity to be a leader. She actually used all the wonderful things about being a woman, which is being strong, being compassionate, being instinctual, being a good communicator, and being able to bring people together. And she used all those traits, but then she was also a total BA, and she took no shit. And she was, an amazing shooter, and ran the show with such balls, really. But she never got rid of what makes being a woman so special. And it was such a great experience. And one of, it was just a pilot. It didn't go to air, but it was one of the standout moments of, wow, being a female director is, it's a gift to be able to, be in that position and be a woman. So does that make up for my last bad answer?
And I have to say, one of the great things that I love, there's a tide, there's a change. People like Tina Fey, Amy Poehler, they are proving that women are just as intelligent, just as funny. You don't have to be a man to be funny. And what, Mom? We should have equal everything. And I think women being able to write for women, women being able to direct and not feeling as though they have to put on some sort of masculine hat to be able to play that role, I think is really important. And I love road pavers, for lack of a better word, like Tina Fey. So I commend that, and I love that. As soon as I see successes like that, I get so excited. And I think we should all support that, because that's a huge thing.
I'm going to jump in quick more. I just finished Amy Poehler's book. So good. And the best part about it is what I love so much about her, and I actually did a couple projects with her 100 years ago. She would never remember me. You know, it was like a million years ago. But I remember then that she remembered me actually from something. She came up and was so nice and so engaging. And then cut to, 20 years later, she's obviously a megastar. And what I loved about her book the most is that she's all about women supporting women. And, good for her. I love the line in the book. It's like, good for you, not for me. And I think that's such a great thing in the media that creates like cattiness among women and judginess among women. It's like, good for you, not for me. And that's what I like about her a lot.
Yeah, check out the Like a Girl campaign. It's really incredible. Instead of you fight like a girl, you run like a girl, there's power there. Just check it out if you can. I think it's great.
Krysta, Felicia?
Yeah,
Yvonne?
my current hero is Amy Schumer. She is killing it in all areas at all times. And what I think about, what I love about what she's doing is that she's bringing to light things that women almost don't even know that we're not equal in. We're almost not aware because of how much it's just been perpetuated constantly. And she'll bring something to light in a humorous way, and it will be like, oh, absolutely we're taken advantage in that way, or absolutely I apologize too much for no reason, or absolutely I'm not taken seriously in certain ways. And you don't notice that until it's put in front of you, and then it incites change in a way that she intended, but is so subversive and hilarious that we're all kind of collectively becoming aware of it at one time. And I just think that she's a genius and an amazing actress to boot. She's not just a comedian that was like, I'm going to try acting. She's an actress who happens to be hysterically funny and paving the way for a lot of women, which is exciting. She writes and directs and stars in that show, and it's really cool to watch.
Yeah, I think it's all about representation, and a lot of us don't have a ton of people to look up to. Like you're mentioning Leslie Glatter and Catherine Bigelow, and there are a lot of other directors, but they're exceptions. And I think that sort of exception is something that needs to be pushed through just so other people can get to that point where it's not odd to have a woman director, or it's not even notable.
Also, hey, women can be assholes too. I mean,
well,
yeah,
that's one of the problem. You're raised for people to like you. Like little girls are like, you're pretty and everyone likes you. And those are the way to get popular, to have other people, respond to you well. And so we are raised to be less confrontational and stand up for us, ourselves. We are encouraged to compromise and make everyone happy. And that doesn't necessarily go hand in hand with leadership or people liking you, especially if you want to be a boss. So, I'm sure you've encountered maybe some pushback in your workplace because of your gender. And it's a question of just, persevering and having the balance of standing up for yourself within, maybe a not as friendly environment. And knowing that you're standing up will go far for the people coming behind you. Sometimes you have to be out front, right? And I think this is a generation who is out front, really changing the paradigm of girls can be geeky, girls can be directors, girls, stories are just as valid as men's.
Is there someone, a person in general, a woman in general, that you see, a name that you have a lot of respect for, that's behind the camera?
Yeah, I do a lot of different things, and like Sheryl Sandberg's book is amazing. Hillary Clinton is, if you've really read one of her books, she's kind of really inspiring. And Nora Ephron was somebody who I grew up always sort of idolizing. So there are a lot of leaders out there, especially, but in entertainment, it is kind of, you hit a little bit of a ceiling. It's like, you can be good, but don't be good enough to be my rival, because then I'll bat you down. I mean, it really is. I mean, the more I'm in this business, I see that, oh, there's that glass ceiling that really is a thing, but it's not even conscious among people. I think it's just subconscious.
Vonnie?
I think it's a really important point. Someone, I think you said it, Krysta, about women, so that it's equal on a set you rock up, and it's not noticeable that, oh, it's a woman director, because so often, even I do that. You go to set and it's like, oh, it's a female director. It's like, it's a thing. So
Like a female cab driver.
yeah, it's a thing.
You're like, oh,
so
hi.
it would be great to have that eventually even out. But I mean, I kind of spoke about this yesterday, because it's very much in the media right now, all the female issues and how there's not enough roles and all that stuff for women. And I know something that I read about recently, I think Reese Witherspoon has created a company specifically to create roles for women. How long has she had this company for? It's quite recent, I think.
Like a year old, I think.
Yeah. So that's something that's inspiring to me. And also, I wanted to also mention that it's really inspiring to work with super strong women and fun women and women who embrace each other behind the camera as well. I know in my experience, like Mercedes, for example, I mean, we met on the set of Chuck, and we've been besties ever since. And I've been so lucky to experience women who support other women, and we can have that camaraderie and support each other through our careers and our lives. So cheers to that as well.
Might I point out really quick also, Felicia, I mean, you are someone who has done a tremendous amount of work behind the camera. You've built your own little empire in Geek and Sundry, and you really have, and you are fighting in that respect.
I mean, I just wrote a book, and I think, I think the way that I was raised, I was homeschooled, so I was not in school, and I was not around anybody. So that's kind of why I'm weird, and very awkward socially. But I was never told that girls don't like certain things, and I was always measured by my achievement. Knowing, my dad would be like, "Learn Morse code, and I'll give you $10." Oh my God, So it was I never knew things were not appropriate for gender, and that's why I think I see a lot of the things that we unconsciously accept as, oh, that's not a girl thing, or that's a boy thing. I don't see those as much. So I see, in fact, the stereotypes that are around us every single day that influence us subconsciously about our own sexuality and about other people's sex. And I mean, just drive down the street and imagine a guy as a girl in any advertisement or cinema. And it's astonishing if you really do that over and over again, how odd it is and jarring to imagine just this sex flip. And then you get to see where we're kind of endemically told that women are this kind of role or this kind of heroine, and this is a man. And I don't know, it's something I do a lot. So whenever we, on this panel, just by representing the characters that we do and us talking to people, can change people's mind a little bit and open the door for other people, that's really where the long-term change, where we can just all be together or achieve what we want to achieve regardless of gender.
Rock and roll.
Purple hair.
Ooh, purple hair.
Purple, gray, blue.
Will it be easier if I pick instead of making you guys pick? Yes.
You should pick.
I'm getting a yes. Okay,
Please
I'll do
pick.
that. I'll be the picker.
Hi, I love all of you, so thank you all for coming. I'm going off of Felicia's last question. We are seeing gender bent Ghostbusters, for lack of a better term. They just came out with a cast photo, and they all look amazing. Is there another movie with like a mainly male-led cast that you would like to see maybe flipped and remade? Or would you prefer to see more original content with a mainly female cast?
I remember hearing. Oh, sorry.
question.
No, I just remember hearing that Olivia Wilde. They did a reading of The Hangover with all women, and they changed it, and it was hysterical. And it was just sort of to prove that women are funny, and stories can be told with a group of women that is raunchy and interesting, and sort of not damsels in distress or whatever. So I think something to actually see that come to fruition would be kind of fun to see that movie. I know even in situations where I've been, I was a part of something where there was sort of a precedent of a show that a male was very promiscuous, and then when our version of it, there was a female that was very promiscuous, and she was made to not be that way at all because she would not be likable. It was very, very, likable is a word that gets thrown around all over the entertainment industry for women, and it's just very interesting to, things like Bridesmaids, where you can be a little unlikable a little bit, or you can be not perfect for a second and just let everyone chill and watch somebody be who they are for a little bit, and maybe they'll come around at the end, or let's have a journey. I mean, I think I'm sort of going all over the place, but I'm thinking of even like our show, when Zach and I did a show together, there was a lot of talk about me being unlikable because I started off in a place that was very combative, but I make an arc to where the end, I can open up and understand, and you just have to let people be who they are, and then you'll like them for who they are, and flawed characters are like that. So anyway, I think that something where women can be a little more naughty, for lack of a better word, is interesting to see. So that sort of is a jumping off point, but original content would be even more amazing because most likely a woman will have written it, and that will be also very exciting.
Anyone else want to jump on that one?
I was just going to say before that, I feel like I read a lot of scripts, whether it's movie scripts or TV scripts that have, the focus of the whole thing is the lead guy. It's, it's an action movie or it's whatever movie, and it's always the lead guy and then the supporting female or whatever. And I always think this could totally work if you flipped it and had it be a lead female, and hopefully we can see more of that happening. That's all I was going to say.
Yeah, just talking about the Ghostbusters thing. That's so cool that they're female Ghostbusters, and then they went and announced a male Ghostbuster thing. And I was like, are you freaking kidding me? Like, and is it just going to be like, we'll throw some token lady things at you? I mean, I'm hoping not. That crew is going to be amazing, but it felt like it undermined the whole thing to immediately announce it. I was just like, well, let them be the Ghostbusters. Why not? So I see that a lot where people are like, let's do a lady version. We'll give it to you. And then we'll do the real version. I'm not saying that that's this specifically, but I do say that, when I'm on panels a lot, especially in gaming, it's like women in gaming. And I'm like, well, I'm not doing that unless it's gender in gaming. And they're like, oh, yeah, it's about gender in gaming. Because men have issues as well. So I don't know. I'm ranting.
I like what you just said. That was good.
Got snappy.
You are snappy.
It's
Bree,
the
Mercedes?
burger.
Bree or Mercedes, do you have any thoughts?
Oh gosh. Well, is that true what you just said? Did they really just announce a male?
They announced a male Ghostbusters, right?
That actually
Yeah,
is.
well,
yeah.
is it
Like a month
100%
after.
official? I know they were like Channing Tatum or something, right?
Yes, it was Channing Tatum. It was.
Yeah.
I was just like, let it breathe, guys. At least let them get into pre-production. It was almost like they were, well, it's fine. I don't know. That's how it came off to me, and I feel like maybe, of course, that's probably not intentional, but it did feel like that, to me.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. That actually kind of bums me out because I just saw that photo too on Twitter, and I was like, yeah. Plus the best. I mean, that was like the best casting. I think it's so hard because it's like I'm all about women, and I love this panel, like badass women. Zach, yes, way to go, and I love celebrating being a woman, but I also would like it to be not such a big deal. Like what you just said. How about gender in gaming, not just women in gaming, which is, I think on the money too, is like and that's kind of what we've said a bunch in these last couple of answers is, it'd be great to just kind of get to the point where it just doesn't have to be a thing. Like you don't go on set and it's like, oh, it's a female director, which we're all guilty of. I do it too. And because it is true, there are more male directors, and that's just the facts right now. But it would be nice to not have it even go into your brain. And it's just the best director is doing this job. Who cares what sex? I don't know. That's my answer.
Would you would you want to remake a movie? Would you want to remake a movie with just women? Is there a movie that you think would be really fun to remake that was from men to women?
Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
Oh, that's good. That's really
I thought about
good.
that for so long. I think it would be incredible. You get like a Melissa McCarthy, you get a Tina Fey, you get an Amy Poehler, you get any of those women, and I
That's
think it would be
good. Or like Dirty Rotten Scoundrels.
Schumacher even. Yes.
Oh my
Something
God.
like
Would have been
Sting.
incredible.
The Sting. I was about to say. I was trying to
Yes.
remember the name of the Sting. I was like,
Yes.
that would be the most amazing
Right.
lady movie.
Let's do it.
Gender movie.
Gender
I'm
movie,
kidding.
that's right. Felicia, you're out, babe.
High five. You're good.
I'm just going to add real quick before we move on from that question. I think there's a lot of responsibility that we have in the entertainment business. And I think with younger generations, they look up and they see, they learn this from somewhere. And like you said, Felicia, you weren't raised with women should do this, girls should do this, boys should do this. And if we get rid of those biases starting today, I think younger generations will gladly grasp onto that because kids are so open and they base who they're friends with and how they think on what they're told. Otherwise, they're bias-free, I think. And so if we take that away and we start new generations with, look, you can do anything you want. It doesn't matter if you're a girl, you're a boy, you're transgender, you're gay, you're straight. It doesn't matter. You put your best foot forward and you will be appreciated. If we start that now, and I think we represent that in film and TV and any sort of entertainment form, I think it'll pick up. Maybe I'm glass half full, but I'm hoping. Or I'm going to jump in front of a train. It's one of those two options. That's all I got.
Well, it's interesting. I have a daughter and a son, 5 and 3, and, you know,
And you look incredible.
Oh, thanks. I've tried so hard to be just gender neutral with them, but I gotta say, there are just things that are just the way they are, you know, with gender. Like, I do not like to wear pink. I do not like to wear sparkles, and I have a daughter who only wants to wear freaking pink and sparkles. And it is just hysterical. But I think also, kind of along the lines of what you're saying, is just be who you are. And I'm also not going to shame my daughter for loving sparkly, pinky, froofy, blah, you know? And it's like, I mean, it gives me a headache, but like it makes her so happy. And so I support her, and she loves princesses. And I just bought her this book that says, it's like part-time princess, and she's like, you know, a badass girl by day and a princess by night. And I think it's also, we don't want to go so extreme of like, feel bad for wanting to wear sparkle, little girl, or wanting to be a princess, you know, whatever that means. But I explained to Stella, I go, princesses, they do a lot of charity work, which is true.
That's so good.
You know, they're goodwill ambassadors. And they're very, very lovely. And, you know, so I don't want to just take a big poop on, you know, what makes her happy right now. So it's just like, be who you want to be. Yeah, exactly. Whatever.
Next question. You. Right there in the front. Wait, we're going to give you a microphone. Can you hand that down?
You can stand up, honey. Okay.
Oh my gosh, I realize I've sworn, and you're such a sweet little girl, and I'm so sorry. I am so sorry.
This one's specifically for you. Why did you choose to be an actor?
I don't know. It was just always in my system. I was kind of a show-off kid. Like, I liked to come home after school and make videos and bring all my friends home from school and be silly in front of the camera and make my mom film all of us be silly in front of a camera. So I just always used to do all the acting stuff at home, and then one thing led to another, and I started my first acting class when I was 12, and then I just kept going. So that was it.
I've seen
do you
those
wanna be an
videos. They're amazing.
Oh my God, they're really bad.
They're so good. They're so good. You have no idea.
Oh, they're terrible.
What's your name?
Sabine,
Sabine?
as the girl from earlier who you chanted.
What did I do? You all chanted her name?
With the MC.
Oh! Well done. Sabine, do you want to be an actress?
Yeah, but I want to be in like one of those singing movies.
You want to be in the what movies?
Singing movie.
She wants to be a
One of
musical.
one of those musicals, but you know the deep singing ones. She can't hit high pitch yet.
Oh.
I don't like high pitch.
Excellent.
You could find a nice tenor role, I guess. Low alto. You could do that.
I hate opera.
Girl, because it is boring.
Well, don't sugarcoat it, Sabine. How do you really feel? That's okay. You don't have to do opera if you don't want to. You don't have to do it. There are a lot of options. What's your favorite musical?
I haven't seen a lot, but so far I think it's Sound of Music.
Sound of Music.
Yeah.
It's a great musical.
Love
It's a great musical.
Really, my favorite characters there was.
She can go on and on.
Well, my favorite part of that was when the kids did the Do-Re-Mi, because I sort of went to Glee camp and I did a performance in the little kids one who did the Do-Re-Mi song, and our teacher was trying to be Julie Andrews, and she was walking side by side, and we all did like this.
That's a committed teacher.
All right.
Sabine, we
I
are
love that
so
she said
grateful.
she's trying to be Julie Andrews. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
she was trying.
Even
But
she knows, she's like, it's not happening.
Sabine, we are so grateful that you're with us today. Thank you so much for your question.
Thank you.
Who's got I saw a hand shoot up in the back. That one in the back there. Thank you so much. And go ahead and stand if you
Oh,
if you
do I
could.
have to? Okay.
Could you if you don't mind, so
Hi.
we can all see you.
This is just quite a good follow-up, actually, to Sabine. This is mostly directed at Krysta, but all of you, if you know what it is, and going back to the previous question, what would be your ideal song for Miscast, like a male to female kind of song or something like that?
Oh boy. I would probably want to do something like the MC from Cabaret, you know, just something really ridiculous and out there where there's no rules, no holds barred. But I also once was supposed to do a miscast thing. I don't know how much anybody knows about musical theater. Musical theater's work right here. Yeah. But somebody gave me She Cries from Songs for New World. And it was so interesting to hear it from a female perspective. So I might want to do something like that. That was really fun.
Any other ladies want
Pippin,
Yeah,
all
what'd you-
girl cast.
Pippin?
What about Seven Brides for Seven Brothers?
Oh boy.
That's like the creepiest.
Yeah, we need
musical.
to overhaul that one. We'd have to start from scratch on that one. Oh boy. It's just like, grab yourself a bride.
Grab
and
one,
throw
just
her
grab
over your
one.
shoulder. It's bad. That's bad. Yeah, we'd have to.
All right, next question. Right there. Right down here. Right. You'll get a mic on your left-hand side.
Hi. I want to say I run a blog on diversity in media, and I want to thank all of you because I see a lot of posts from girls saying, you know, this character, I can relate to her, and it's not empty, and she's not 2D, and so it's great to see you guys moving forward. And with that shift in the industry, with everybody saying, oh, we want better roles, and we want better pay, and we want better, equality, do you see a change from behind the scenes in the industry in that direction? And is it intersectional? Like, does it include women of color and women in the LGBTQIA community and disabled women, so on and so forth?
Go ahead.
No, you go.
I was gonna say,
I'll take this one. I'll take this one.
Like, what's your experience about women?
I think there's been a great shift towards hiring ethnic women as leads, as we've seen with Scandal and some of these other shows, and I think that's huge. Yeah. I mean, it's a touchy subject. I think there should be a lot more equality. I mean, there's still, aside from the entertainment industry, where women don't quite make the same, amount to dollar as a man makes, and I think it's just absolutely ridiculous. But that's hopefully going to start changing. And like I said, I truly believe that if we change as a society and we sort of start showing the example of it through entertainment or whichever medium, like the Gina Davis Foundation, for example, if you guys have followed that, it's all about female equality, at least in the entertainment industry. And she celebrates every time there's some sort of forefront movement towards women's rights. So I think with that being said, and all this movement, hopefully in the right direction, hopefully in the next 10 years, maybe we'll see, we won't even need to have this discussion. Then what are you going to do, Zach?
I'll have the badass gender panel. Am I right? I don't know. We'll all breathe a sigh of relief is what we'll do. Anybody else want to jump on that one?
I just think, I think it was great that you even brought up other areas of, there's so many steps to take, and we almost can only do them one at a time. And this feels like our time to step up and kind of forge a path. But there are so many other people that are underrepresented in the industry, particularly even like I think you mentioned disabled, people with disabilities. I just recently did a show, a musical where half the cast was deaf and one woman was in a wheelchair and was completely incorporated, and it was, absolutely a part of the show that no one would have thought twice about. So, there are ways to make it happen, and you just need people that will step up and say, yes, I'm willing to just do it and let everyone deal with it. And but it takes a while, and it takes, sometimes one thing at a time, and hopefully we'll get there at some point with everyone.
I think the digital world has opened up a lot of avenues for people to kind of go around the system. I mean, there is sort of an endemic block of men in power positions as far as producers and executives and things, and I think that's slowly becoming a little bit different. But you see, like Broad City, they just made a sketch and now they have a TV show. Like, you see that a lot more, women making their own businesses and finding ways that are not necessarily the traditional path to success. And I think the more places open up like that, the more it will prove that it's about a system maybe holding back equality versus achievement or ability. So it's kind of awesome that way.
Awesome. Next question. I saw that hand with the hat and the glasses right there. Yeah. There's your microphone.
Hi, guys. Thank you for being here today. It's really great to see all of you. Just a comment. I have goats. They're brats, but they are also awesome.
Can we come
You
over?
have goats that are rats?
You can come over
Brats,
anytime you
they're
like.
Brats. They're brats. Okay.
They're brats.
I was like, that is very
Do you have
confusing. I've never
video?
seen a rat goat.
Do they scream? Oh my God, I have so many questions.
Yes. Yes.
They scream? They do?
They do. Especially if they get
Can
separated from
Can
their
we come
friends.
over?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yvonne, you literally went like this. What, they scream? They do? What is it? Like, just your posture. And what is your question?
My question is for everybody. It's kind of already been mentioned today, but is there one badass woman in your lives that's really inspired you? Doesn't have to be in the entertainment industry. It could be, like, for me, it's my mom. But for you, is there any badass woman that really has inspired you to be who you are today?
Well, I would have to say it's my mom,
Yes.
too. My mom had me in high school, and she was head cheerleader and, homecoming queen and all those things. And she then got pregnant with me, and she never let anyone tell her that she should make certain decisions because she's a certain type of girl. And her whole life was blazing this trail of just motherhood. And now that I'm a mother, I am a working mother, but the first thing I am is a mother. And I think the thing my mother taught me the most was compassion and unconditional love. And I think, mothers are the ones that send out their sons and daughters into the world to become people that have badass women panels at Nerd HQ and all these things. And I think the more mothers are supported to be able to focus on their children in a way with compassion and love and power and bravery, then I think they create these little people that run the world. And I think mom is the number one job. So I would say my mom. Oh, I'm going to call my mom when I get in the car.
My mom's in the front row.
That's so sweet.
Yes. And she's,
Stand up, Mom.
right there, the pretty one. Yeah, she's been amazing, and she's definitely my inspiration, and a person. Sometimes I'd be doing like things in New York, and they'll be there so often. People are like, "Oh, your parents live in like New Jersey or New York?" No, they live in California. No, they just fly here all the time. They're just always here. Anyone who's ever done anything with me can attest to, both my parents being really supportive and everything. And for some of you who sort of know my story, it's been a year of needing as much support as possible, and she's been there every single step. So, yeah, Mom, for sure.
I'll hop aboard the mom train. There's no beating that, but my mom is definitely not standard and not easy, but she definitely raised me to be different and to be proud of who I am, an individual, and never take no for an answer. So, and the other people who come to mind are teachers, and teachers and parents. Like you have all these mentors. Like, yeah, I love Oprah. She's great. But really, the people who have that first degree in your lives, women, especially moms and teachers. Those are the people who make us who we are, in formative ways.
There's really there's no one that can ever be successful without one person that tells them that it's possible.
Yeah.
And so it has to be whoever. Whether it's a teacher or whether it's a counselor or whether it's their parents, because a lot of times it's not their parents. And, for me, it was at age 11 being like, I have to be on stage. I love the smell of the theater. I don't know what to do. And it takes one person, who was my mom, in the car being like, people do this for a living. And then it's like, what? And then you're done. It takes one person to tell you that you can do it. And then you start. Otherwise, who would know? How would you know? So it's really important that there's at least one person, just one.
I'm glad you said teacher, because I'm going to give a shout out, and I don't even know if she would ever watch this, but high school teacher, Mrs. Rosenthal, I absolutely adore you. Barely spoke the language, had only been in the country a few years, and that woman made me feel worthy, and she said, have no fear. And I heard it. Some people can tell you things and it goes out the other ear, but I heard it. And ever since, that's sort of been my life motto, no fear. So thank you, Mrs. Rosenthal.
I was going to do my mom, but no, you just reminded me of a teacher. I love my mom. My mom is definitely, obviously.
I love your mom, too.
Your mom got bumped.
I don't know if she's watching.
Your mom's in the back row. She's like...
But no, I do think I've actually told this story at a panel. My parents migrated to Australia, and it was kind of a badass move, and they just up and left, basically escaped communist Poland when you weren't supposed to, when they were 27. So that's nuts to just leave your family and not know when you're going to see them again. 10 years later, they saw them again. So that's, I take my hat off to that, and what my mom has achieved since she landed in Australia. But I also want to shout out to a teacher of mine who was very inspirational to me, and also, growing up as a English second language child, because Polish was technically my first language, I always had a complex about the English language and my ability to speak it and my vocabulary and all that stuff. Like I used to, if I would hear a word at school, and not know what it is, I would write it on the back of my hand, and then I would look it up in the dictionary, and then I would make sure to use that word in a sentence throughout the day so I would understand it. But when we speak Polish at home, so it was kind of a struggle, and I always had that complex. And there was this one teacher who, Mrs. Halliday, I don't know if she'll ever watch this.
You guys are not giving enough credit to the live stream of Nerd HQ. I think both your teachers are super into it. Go ahead.
Mrs. Halliday never misses a live stream of Nerd HQ.
But no, Mrs. Halliday was just an incredible role model. She just was so inspirational, so down to earth, and just would talk to us girls. It was an all-girls private school that we went to, and would talk to us like just real people, would have an open ear at all times and listen to us. And she inspired me to take, because we had to pick, I don't know what it was like here in the States, but in Australia, you have to pick which English level you want to do for your final two senior years. And she asked me which I was going to pick, and I said, well, of course, I'm going to pick the low one, and she said no. She said no, you're not. You're gonna pick the highest level, because you can do this. And I was like, I don't think I can. But I ended up doing it, and I ended up doing really well. And I have her to thank for that. So.
And you've spoken English ever since.
Yes. I did.
We have time for one more question. Oh wow, you got somebody shouting you out. So I'm gonna go with you, darling. Right here.
I just wanted to say I'm really excited that you were talking about teachers. I'm an art teacher, and I was like,
Yay!
woo! My question for all of you would be, if you could play any iconic female character or famous, like, iconic person, who would it be? And maybe why, if you have a person.
Holly Golightly, I think, of all the Audrey Hepburn canon, of which I would like to do all and do in the privacy of my own home. Yeah, I think that one, Breakfast at Tiffany's, yeah.
Maybe Ripley from Alien.
I want to be the first female James Bond.
Can I be your Bond girl?
You are my Bond girl right now, Bonnie.
Oh boy, this is a really hard one. I mean, I think I would want to play. There's a god of the cup, Hebe, in ancient Greek, and I just think that'd be funny to be the god of cups. The goddess of cups. I think she's a girl. It's like, it'd be so stupid. It's so like, hey, here's a cup.
Hey, need a cup?
Hey, I got what?
Oh, I'm going to be Mercedes
Oh,
Bond,
sticking with
Bond
Mercedes
girl.
Bond girl.
I'm going to be
Okay,
the Bond girl
fantastic.
for
Jane
for
Bond
James
and
Bond.
Jane Bond's girl.
Done and done. I love all those answers. Ladies and gentlemen, unfortunately, we're out of time. Please give a round of applause for our incredible badass women. Ladies, thank you so much. Thank you so much. You can.
Thank
You
you,
are
Zach.
released. You are released. Keep it going, everybody. Keep it going. Namaste.